One of the easiest ways to start off in Illustrator is to get students thinking about how to make graphics using basic shapes. So if we go to our screen right now, we already have Illustrator open, and now you know that the toolbar is on your left-hand side. We are going to grab the rectangle tool, or M, and we are just going to have a solid fill right here, which is going to be black, and we have a stroke right here. Right now the stroke has a red dash across it, which means that it is blank. There's nothing in it. So we're not going to have a stroke at all. We're just going to have a black fill. So we're just going to have, when we click and drag, a black box. Now we're going to keep on creating some more shapes here using the shape tools, and we're going to click on this and go to the ellipse tool, or the letter M is a keyboard shortcut. And if I click and drag, you will see that you could pull out an ellipse. Once again, we're going to go back over here into our tools, and we're going to get a polygon tool, and we are going to click and drag here. Now if I want to move this over here, I'm going to switch over to my selection tool, which is keyboard shortcut V, or click on it in a toolbar, and I'm going to wait till I see that box right there, and I'm going to click and I'm going to drag it over here. And then we're going to go back over to our toolbar, and we're going to get a star tool. We're going to click and drag. Once again, in order to move it over, I'm going to hit V, or grab my selection tool from the toolbar, and I'm going to click and drag it over here. And then one more tool, shape tool we're going to use is, we're going to use the line segment tool, and we are going to click and we are going to drag. One thing you'll notice about the line segment tool is that you are going to select it, and you could change the stroke to it up top here at your control panel. And if you want to make it bigger, you can make it bigger. You can also click on it and use your up and down arrows to make the size bigger or smaller. So we could see it. I'm going to keep it at 3 right here. We also have this wonderful resource that you could download, Drawing with Shapes. And what this resource does, it shows you how basic geometric shapes can be formed into more complex graphics. You have the robot, you have the face, and you have this watermelon. If you'd like, you could have a basic exercise where you have students build basic graphics using these shapes. So now we know how to make the basic shapes. Another wonderful resource we have within this Pro Pack is our Shape Tool practice page. Now what's great about this resource is that you could open this resource within Illustrator and have your students practice creating these shapes. So let's do that right now. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click out of our Illustrator file that we had here, and I'm not going to save it because I'm not going to put it anywhere. And what I'm going to do, and we talked about earlier how to create a new file, what we're going to do right now is we're going to actually open a file. So when I hit open, it brings me to my desktop here. And what you're going to show here is wherever you have your file place, you need to go find it. And here it is right here, Shape Tools practice page. And I'm going to click on Open. You're going to get this missing fonts dialog box, which just basically tells you that the fonts that were used within the PDF aren't supported, or we don't have them within our library in Illustrator. For our purposes, we don't care about the fonts. We're actually worried more about the shapes themselves, so it's okay. So I'm just going to hit close. There's no need to find the fonts. So here, what we have here is we have your Shape Tools practice, and we have a whole bunch of shapes that the main objective is to have your students practice the tools, the shape tools, and place them over the practice page here. So here's where we're going to cover a little bit about layers. Now layers is a bit different if you're used to Photoshop and layers. Unlike Photoshop, each object does not create a layer. Like in Photoshop, every object you place in there, a new layer is placed. I can have as many objects on one layer as I want. So we're just going to stick with the same layer, but this layer right here, layer 1, is the one that we just imported. And what I want to do with that is I want to actually lock that layer down, because we're going to start a new layer to actually put the shapes on top of it. So right here, next to the eye, I'm going to hit the lock, so that way it's locked. I'm going to go over here to the top right, these 3 lines right here, and I'm going to go to New Layer. Now this new layer, I'm going to name it, and we're going to name it is Shapes. the color is red. You could choose the color you want, it's fine. And we are going to click on OK. So now I have two layers. I have the bottom layer, which is locked, which is our original Shape Tools practice page, and I have this top layer that we're going to be actually working on by taking the shape tools and placing them over these objects. So that's a layer you want to have selected. So I'm going to close that right there. And now we're going to go back to our shape tools. So we're going to start off with our rectangle tool. So we're going to M or go over to the toolbar and click on the rectangle tool. And one of the things that you could do with it is by holding Shift, we could actually make it proportional and have a perfect square. So I'm going to hold Shift and drag out. Now, as you notice right now, the colors and the fill and the stroke that I'm using kind of cover up what I'm doing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change those two right now. And this happens quite often in Illustrator where you're going to want to change these. So the fill right now is white. I'm actually going to click on it, and I want to have no fill. I want to have a stroke, a different stroke besides black. And I'm going to change that by using the color over here. And I'm going to change that to a blue. And I'm going to have that stroke a little bit thicker so that way we could actually see what we're doing. So here we go. I'm going to use the selection tool to click off of it. And you could see that we have it underneath it like that. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to keep on going through these tools. And we're going to go until this practice page is done. So once again, we're going to take a shape and we're going to make this right here. So you could either take your rectangle tool, or you could actually make a copy of this very simply by hovering over it, actually having selected. So you select your actual object, and I'm going to hit Option or Alt if you're on a Windows computer, and you're going to see these double arrows, a black and white arrow. If I keep on holding Option or Alt, I'm going to then click and drag one over. As I do that, you're going to notice that you have a box over here, and we are going to select it one more time, and I'm going to go to the outside so I could turn it. Now, when you turn it, you could hold Shift, and it will give you precise degrees. So here we go, and we are golden with that. We're going to move on to our next shape over here. So we have a rectangle with rounded edges. So I'm going to go ahead once again, and I'm going to make a copy of this one right here. And I'm going to click on it. I'm going to hold Option or Alt until I see those black and white arrows. I'm going to click and drag, and I'm going to move it over here. I'm going to make it slightly bigger. So I'm going to hold Shift as I grab one of these corners. So as I hold Shift, grab it, make it a little bit bigger. And I'm going to place it on top right here. Now I'm going to round off these corners. This is very easy. So as I have it selected, so I got to make sure that I have your path or your rectangle selected. You're going to notice that you see 4 circles, red circles, and you're going to see this curved line right there. What you're going to do is you're going to click and you're going to drag down, and it uniformly changes all the corners so they're rounded right there. And you could do that with any shape. We're going to move over here. We're going to go back to our rectangle tool, and we're not going to hold Shift because we are going to make this a rectangle, not a square. And you're going to match it. We're going to move to the ellipse tool. So we're going to keyboard shortcut L, or go over here to the toolbar and click your ellipse, and you are going to make an ellipse. If you hit the letter V, or you go back to the toolbar in your selection tool here, you're going to click on it, make sure you see that box, and you're going to click and drag to match it. If you need to make it bigger, you select the point, one of the corners, and you drag, you make it bigger. We're going to select off of this. And now we're going to make a perfect circle. So once again, we're going to have the ellipse tool or the letter L. And this time we are going to hold Shift, and we are going to click and drag. And we're going to hit the letter V in order to move it. Got to get it a little bit bigger. I'm going to hold Shift again, and I'm going to match it. Down here, we're going to make a triangle. Since there's no triangle tool, we're going to go ahead and we're going to use the star tool. And as you click and drag. Before you let go, you're going to hit the up or down arrows. And what you do with those up and down arrows is it adds or it takes away the different points. So we're gonna take away, so 1, 2, and there we go. We have our triangle. And in order to make it straight, before we let go, I'm gonna hold Shift. There we go, hit the letter V. And now I can move it down here. A little bit smaller, hold the shifts, keep it proportional, and then move it over. A little bit bigger. All right, and we're gonna click off of it. Since we already have the star tool selected, we're gonna go ahead and knock out the star right here. So I'm going to click and drag. Sorry, need to first choose the star tool. So click on the star tool, then I'm gonna click and drag. Now, since I already made it a triangle before that, it keeps that preset. So I'm gonna go now, as I'm still dragging, I haven't let go yet, I'm going to hit the up arrow twice to get the star back, and I'm also going to hold Shift before I let go to make sure that is straight. Now I'm gonna let go, I'm gonna grab the selection tool, or V is a shortcut, and I'm going to move it down. That matches perfectly right there. And our last shape right here with our practice page is our polygon tool, and we're gonna go here to polygon tool, and you're going to hold Shift as you drag, and I'm gonna move it over. It's a little big. V. Sorry, I made one extra one, so I'm gonna click on it. I'm going to hold Shift before I make it smaller at the corner, and I'm going to get that black box, and I'm gonna move it over. So there you have it. You have built into this Pro Pack a resource page for you to download, and your students could practice using basic skills with the shape tools. So now that you have practiced with the Shapes tool in order to create objects in Adobe Illustrator, let's move on to another tool that also makes objects, the Pen tool.